right, so my name is Robert Hayes. I'm the Community Outreach Librarian and Head of Technical Services here at the Tewksbury Public Library. I want to thank the Friends of the Tewksbury Public Library for sponsoring tonight's event and sponsoring most of our events here at the library for adults, teens, and kids. If anyone like you has their phone on them, if you could just make sure that it's on vibrate or silent for the next 60 minutes or so, that would be greatly appreciated. The restrooms are down the hall on the right before you get to the front desk. And if you need me for anything, I'll be in the back of the room, absolutely terrified, okay? Let me see here. I want to get this just right. I also want to thank Brian Dorrington from Tewksbury Telemedia, who is here recording tonight's event and also live streaming it to YouTube. So very exciting stuff. Okay. And yeah, I am struggling to pull up your information. 1 second. Bear with me. I should also note that we do have our, why is this not working? Our calendar of events is at the front desk for anyone who is interested. We have a couple more paranormal programs this month. They're all virtual. The next couple are virtual, though. And yeah, I don't understand. This was working earlier. Oh, there it is. Chasing Chandler. Is the Tewksbury Library haunted? Several current and former employees who will remain anonymous of the library believe it is haunted. Over the past 10 years, there has been reports of unexplainable phenomena, from shadowy figures to whispering in empty rooms to falling books that seemingly defy the law of physics. The library has hosted its annual Fall Fright Night series for paranormal programs over the past 12 years, and numerous presenters, including some mediums, have often sensed something in the library, which was built on the land that once belonged to the Tewksbury State Hospital. Let's see, with 2 hospital cemeteries nearby. Library staff has affectionately named the ghost Chandler after the street the library is located on, with the belief that this is a relatively friendly ghost. And I will tell you that I am a skeptic, and I somewhat remain a skeptic, kind of, sort of, but not exactly. But I will say that some of the evidence that you're going to see tonight is really eye-opening. And the stick figures, I still can't get over the stick figures. You'll see what I mean in a few minutes, okay? So over the past, 2 years now, the library commissioned several investigative groups working under the umbrella of Moonlight Paranormal Productions to gather evidence of any supernatural being haunting the library. And this all-star team of paranormal researchers, which donated their time, will produce their findings, including videos, photos, EVPs, and other test results in this public presentation. And tonight we have the all-stars of the all-stars. We have Bonnie Pulver and we have Becky Morganelli. So let's give them a big round of applause.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. It's a real pleasure to be here. This is one of my favorite haunts, this library. Very special place, a lot of good energy, and we believe that that is why there's a little bit of activity here, because whether you're here in person or you're on the other side, this place would be a wonderful place to come and hang out. So, do you want to say something? You're good, so. You got it? Okay. So let's talk about some of the things that we experienced while we were here. Now those things, if this will cooperate. No. Ah, there we go. Okay. So our guest of honor, as Robert mentioned, is what we lovingly call the stick, or the stick person. And that is an image that you will see on our SLS cameras, which is a camera that works off of LiDAR technology. And if you're familiar with LiDAR technology, it reads anomalies in the environment, on the ground, under the ocean, and in front of us. It is believed that it can pick up anomalies that we cannot see with our naked eye. And I thought it was important to define anomaly, something that deviates from what is standard, normal, or expected, or something different, abnormal, peculiar, or not easily classified. And that's a lot of what we deal with whenever we're doing an investigation, whenever we're reviewing audio recordings or video recordings. We scrutinize and scrutinize and scrutinize, and we spend a lot of time and hours trying to recreate, imitate, to try to convince ourselves that this possibly could be a true anomaly, something that we cannot explain, which would then be paranormal. So now we're going to show you some of the clips. I hope the audio works on this one too.
So what you're going to see is the anomalies. You are now viewing what we see through the SLS screen.
The other one, oh no, God, the other one got really big. He's huge. Okay. With all that energy, you should be able to light up that flashlight.
That other segment saved?
Yes.
Good.
Oh, he's doing big geometry right now.
Now, if you look where that
Nice
light
job.
just went on, that is a flashlight
you.
that we have next to the computers.
Wow, that's really bright.
Upstairs.
Good work. You guys are really getting good at this. Now, can you turn it back off? Thank you so much.
So just to explain some of the things, you saw that one stick figure kind of resembled a person. It's got joints, elbows and knees and little feet. The other one was kind of scattered all over the place. And that we interpret as being some form of attempt to manifest itself. There's that energy that it's trying to gather from the environment or wherever it can get it, from electronics, from us, and trying to manifest itself. So one was able to manifest and the other one was kind of struggling there, as you could see.
See flashlight. So Becky is setting up for you a flash.
Oh, come on, guys.
See flashlight. So Becky is setting up for you a flashlight that you can turn on and off. And if we ask you some specific questions, we could play Simon Says, whatever you feel like doing. Oh, careful. So I'm sorry we had to readjust things for a minute, but please come. Oh, there you are. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Whoa, he's everywhere. Did you like the light?
See what she put down over there? That blue torch or flashlight, whatever
Whoa.
you call it.
They're definitely putting on something for us here.
If you use your energy and try to give that just a little bit of twist is all you have to do.
It's up in the ceiling again.
Now you can make that turn on.
Oh, now the other one's down.
So you should probably just be able to touch it.
Oh yeah, she put it right there on the edge of being able to turn on. So maybe if you just give it a good tap, you should be able to turn it on.
Yeah. Keep trying.
Thank you. Nice job. Can you turn it off now?
You did it. Excellent.
Can you put the light back out?
Can you make it turn off? Looks like they're trying. Nice job, guys. Keep going. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of that, again, has to do with being able to manifest energy to affect the environment, whether it's to move an object or to manage the technology of a flashlight. There's a delay. Our time doesn't really work the same as their time. And I think people have heard that before, especially if you've ever spoken to a medium. They will tell you in the spirit world the timeline is a little bit different. So there may be a delay in communication, verbal communication. There may be a delay in touch and moving and pushing. It might take a surge of energy in order to be able to do that. So that might be why there's a little bit of a delay there. But of course we don't know. We're surmising here. But it makes sense. Okay. This one, do you like that we know you're here? So this is a little bit of a different angle on what we're doing. And Becky, do you want to explain that to everybody? Sure.
So when Bonnie puts this clip on, what you're going to see is from a body camera that I was wearing. Actually, I think at this point I was holding it so that I could get the angle of the flashlight and the SLS camera that Bonnie had in her hand. So I was essentially standing over Bonnie's shoulder filming both.
Do you like that we know you're here? Yes. We like it too. Thank you. Can you turn it back off?
As you can see, none of us are anywhere near the flashlight.
Do you like that we can see you with this camera? I can show you what you look like.
Yeah, you do?
See, look. Can you guys see this? This is you on the camera. You like that? So that again is trying to interact with the energy that's there, trying to show them what we're doing, trying to teach them how they can communicate with us. And at the same time, we learn from them as well. We've been coming here, what is this, our fourth, fifth time that we've been here? And we hope to come back some more because we'd like to work a little bit more with this because based on some of our investigating with these two energies, which you will see in another clip, is we would really love to know their name. If there's any way possible that we could find that out, then we could actually look into it. But again, you know, this is not a guaranteed type of a science. And this is, are you related?
If you look right above where like the blue pause button is on our, where it says recording, right above that is where the flashlight is, give or take.
Are you related to each other? Light up the flashlight if you're related to each other. Thank you. Can you turn it off now, please? Boy, that's bright. Please turn the flashlight off. Thank you. Are you brothers? Light up the flashlight if you are brothers. Okay, not brothers. Light up the flashlight if you are sisters. Bless you. Okay, not sisters. Are you father and son?
What if they're brother and sister?
I was going to ask that too. Are you father and son? Light up the flashlight if you are father and son.
And as you saw there, the flashlight lit up. Oh, come on, you guys. You're our guests of honor. Come on. We talked about this.
Are you related to each other? Light up the flashlight if you're related to each other. Thank you. Can you turn it off now, please? Boy, that's bright. Please turn the flashlight off. Thank you. Are you brothers? Light up the flashlight if you are brothers. Okay, not brothers. Light up the flashlight if you are sisters. Bless you. Okay, not sisters. Are you father and son?
What if they're brother and sister?
I was going to ask that too. Are you father and son? Light up the flashlight if you are father and son. Well, that kind of makes sense, big one, little one. Can you turn it off, please?
Is one wanting to interact and the other not wanting it to?
Maybe. You can turn it off now. What would I ask a father and a son?
I would keep going, see if it's mother-daughter or brother-sister.
Are you sister and brother? Light up the flashlight if you're sister and brother. Not sister and brother. Okay. Are you mother and daughter? Light up the flashlight if you are mother and daughter.
And then I'd go back and see, try again when they responded.
Okay. Not mother and daughter. Are you father and son? Light up the flashlight if you are father and son. Thank you. Father and son. Yes for father and son. Excellent. I'm glad you're together.
So as you could see, we went back to that original question to try to see if it was confirmed by them, which served two purposes of it not just being a random blip of the flashlight, and also it tells us that these figures are intelligent. They know what they're doing. They're actually interacting with us.
Now this is a clip of Heather and myself, and she is doing a process that I mentioned earlier called the Estes method. That is when one person has sound canceling headphones on so they can't hear anything around them, and they're plugged into a program that is pre-populated with a series of words that can form phrases or sentences or just single words. And that person listens for those words. The other person is further away in the room to assure that they can't hear and asks a number of questions. And we see what comes out from the person with the headphones on, whatever they're saying. And that many times is another way to try to promote some sort of intelligent communication or response. Where'd it go? Here we go. Oh, come on, boys. Yes? I swear all this stuff worked before you guys all got here. I swear. Right, Robert?
It's true.
It's totally true. Without I shouldn't have gone upstairs. I brought them with me and now they're playing. Okay, let's try this again. No, it doesn't want to play. How many are here? Well,
As I was going to say, as I said before, it's not uncommon during the course of investigations for us to have technology glitches
All the time.
all the time.
And we can't-
And it's not just us. We talk to many different paranormal people, and everybody has the same issue.
Because we are A plus 100% when the paranormal investigators are around. I never have tech troubles unless they're here.
You did say you lost your power today, right?
We did lose our power today, and our generator kicked on. That was a little scary. But,
Every time, that's funny. So as I was explaining about the Estes method, that slide that they don't want us to play, I was in the media center, and Heather was sitting in the meeting area with the comfy chairs, and she had the headphones on, and I was further down in the room, and I was asking her a series of questions. And while I was doing that, I was also taking some photographs with the IR camera, and I was getting impressions. What I mean by that is I am a psychic medium. So I was picking up whatever, and I just said, "How many of you are here?" And a few moments later, she responded, 83. And I said, "Wow, that's a lot of people." But we thought that that was rather significant because, given the history of this area and the thousands of people who lived on this land here, it's quite possible there could be 83. I don't know, but that was the only time that she said a number. And I was asking for a number. So that was pretty interesting. This photograph, again, you see our friend, the stick person. That was also in the common area in the media center down that way.
yeah, this is the Fair Brief Wing. This is where the magazines and newspapers are, next to the audiobooks, the music CDs, and DVDs and Blu-rays.
And this was a shot that I took, oh gosh, maybe the second time we were here, I believe. And when it was moving like somebody who had a walker or was having trouble walking. And I was interacting with it, and I was asking it, "Are you all right? Would you like to sit in the chair? It seems like you're having trouble walking." And it did. It stumbled a couple times, and it got back up again. I almost wanted to get up and go help, but there was nothing there to help. But I was trying to get it to respond to me. And when I said, "Are you having trouble walking?" it fell on its knees. So I thought, okay. That was another interesting one. And let's see here. They'll let me show this one. There you go. And this little one is right there in the lobby. I think Robert was saying that there's a cart that they put out that has things that people can help themselves to. Is that?
Yeah, we have some honor book carts that our friends at the library fundraise off of. And yes, this little guy's in front of one of those carts.
Yes, so we caught him there, and then another part of our team at a later time during the night caught him again in the lobby area there. So there's a little bit of energy there in that area as well. Let's see. Okay. This is a clip, again, that I hope it will play. Let me do that, and then I'll play it first. Okay, this may work. All right, so this is us in the children's library section, and I'm sitting there with my digital recorder. I have a REM pod sitting next to me. We have cameras going, and Heather is way over here in the corner by the window. And I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this, but we'll give it a try. They don't like me. What's going on tonight? Okay.
Do you remember us from a few weeks ago?
I don't know. They're going to be. It has to be louder. I can't see that.
We came back to talk to you.
Okay, what Heather was saying there is we've come back to talk to you. And what I heard on the audio was need some help. And I couldn't tell if it was a question, like they were asking, do you need some help? We're in a library. it would be common for somebody to walk up to you and say, you need some help finding something or whatever, or need some help to talk to us. I wasn't sure what they meant.
If you turn the volume up on your computer, we can actually kind of hear this one. I can't turn it up anymore on my end, or we're going to get feedback.
Oh, that's true.
You're like at 50%, I thought, so if you go up to 100, I think you might be able to hear some of these.
If I could see, it would be all right. Let's see. No, I'm already up there.
It's a rehearsal, I can hear that.
Try what?
Press play again.
Hit the video again.
Do you remember us from a few weeks ago? We came back to talk to you.
The type of EVP you might have to hear with your headphones on. We get a lot of those. But I do promise I have some much louder ones. Okay. So this is an EVP, electronic voice phenomena. That's a term that we use for voice recordings that we can pick up on digital equipment, electronic voice phenomenon. The thing that happens with me quite often now, and it seems to be happening more and more, is sometimes I can hear these things, like I can hear the voice. And sometimes you'll hear me say, what? And then you'll hear it again, or I'll ask people, did you hear that? And they'll look at me and say, no, I didn't hear anything. And then we'll play it back on the recording, and there's a voice there. So that's something that always piques my interest.
Oftentimes, EVPs come out as a whisper. So this first one, not so much. This one we would consider a Class A, which means it's going to sound almost like someone's talking like I am to you. But most of the time, they're whispers, and they're very hard to hear. So if you can't hear them, it's okay.
No, it's not going to play either. Goodness. Let me try this again. I don't understand. I might have to go rogue on this.
What if you actually closed it and opened it back up? Can you try that again?
No. Let's do it. Sorry, guys. This is happens when you least want it to.
Mode.
What?
Mode. Multi-task imaging.
Do you want me to play it again, or?
Yeah, one more time.
Mode.
What?
Mode. Multi-task imaging.
Now I'm sitting in there with Heather, and she was having a problem with her camera. I was trying to figure out why there was a problem with the camera, and she was going, I put that in there, and I flicked that switch, and she's talking to herself. And then I hear, no. And I went, what? And then it says, no, like that. And I was like, wow. I didn't hear the second no. That I heard when I played back the recording. The first one I actually did hear with my ears. This one is sorry, I hear something. This one was captured in the children's story room where they read stories for kids. There was a little girl's voice that I heard. We were setting up this laptop and we were trying to get a program to work, one of the programs, and as soon as I finished it and I got it right, I said, perfect. And then right there, I heard somebody say, perfect, like a little girl's voice. And I turned to Becky and I said, did you hear that? And she went, no. And I said, okay, then I'm the crazy one. But then we played back the recording, and sure enough, there was something there.
And this one's going to be a little harder to hear.
Because again, that's the classic EVP where they're just kind of whispering. Okay, and it sounds like, perfect, just like that.
Perfect. So, did you hear that? Perfect. So, did you hear that? Perfect. So, did you hear that? Perfect. So, did you hear that?
Some people. Okay. Yeah, again, that's another would be like C. Between B and C, class-wise. This is one where we were in the children's library, and we had every gadget possible out there, and we were hoping for some kind of action. And I was talking about, we love to use cat balls, you know, those little light-up balls that cats use to play with, right? And they tap them and they light up. So I was talking about that. Oops. And a lone cat ball that ain't doing nothing. Want to hear it again? Oops. And a lone cat ball that ain't doing nothing. So that's very classic EVP. You can hear what it's saying, still kind of whispering, but loud enough for you to actually make out what it's saying. Those are great when that happens. A lot of times you can get some where you'll hear a disembodied voice, and it'll come out on the recording as an EVP, and you cannot figure out what they're saying, but it's clear as day. Those are really frustrating. So they might be speaking in a different language, they might have an accent, they might be speaking gibberish, I don't know, but you know that something is there and it's very clear. So yes, we would like to thank all of you guys here. We're going to open up the floor for questions. I want to thank the Tewksbury Public Library for inviting us for the Fright Week program. I think it's been going on all month though, hasn't it, Robert? Yeah.
You're really one of our only few in-person programs we've done. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
You guys are local, right?
No.
Not yet. You know, we look forward to continuing exploring some of the things that we talked with you about, and stay tuned because there's going to be some more stories in the future. So does anyone have some questions on what you've seen? I know for some of you this must be like, what? It is unsettling when you hear about children, okay? A lot of people, and I do too because you're a teacher, I'm a therapist, okay? So when I hear a little kid voice, I'm just like, oh. But what I've come to learn as a medium also is that people tend to go and remember places that they felt safe, or they felt loved, or they had a good experience of some kind, and it keeps them coming back. Like a child energy might be attracted to a playground where other children are playing, a library where other children are coming to read and listen to stories. If I were a spirit, I'd sit in the story room with everybody else and listen to the stories. Those are things that are very real and easily believable as, you know, because we're all human beings. Okay, so that being said, all of the things that we pick up here are things that I believe. Okay, I'm not saying everybody believes my opinion, but as a medium, the connections that I'm making here are people that are transient, meaning they come here sometimes, but they're not here all the time. Well, I don't know about the two little people upstairs. But the father and son, I don't know. They seem to enjoy it here quite a bit. But the other energies that we've come across, or some of the voices that we've heard now, they could be residual, meaning it was imprinted on the timeline somewhere, and every now and then it's on a feedback loop, and it plays over and over again at different times of day or night or during the year, a specific date in the year or whatever.
Much better than our technology.
Yes. You know, and then there are other hauntings that are like true hauntings. You know, sometimes it's just a voice. Sometimes you might see something. You know, and I know a lot of the ghost shows talk about shadow people and demons and all these things. There's nothing here of that kind whatsoever. Nothing. Okay, I wouldn't want to be here if that were the case. But this is a place where people lived. They lived their lives, and they became attached to this place. And I think that they come back here. And I would think, based on all the buildings and the history on this property here, that this place would be a really comforting, nice place to come compared to all the other places they may have had to be in, like the almshouse, the house for the poor, or the state hospital, you know, or any of those other places that they've been. The other impression I got, I think it was the second time we were here, Heather and I were driving around the estate grounds because we'd never seen them. And we got to the top of a hill over where the horse barn is, way in the back. There's that horse barn there, that really old barn. There's a lot of energy there too. And we got up to the top of the hill because we were kind of lost and didn't know if we should turn around. And she goes, "Where should we go next?" And I said, "Right down there, where that lady is sitting on a bench near the pond." And she's like, "Bonnie, there's no pond there. There's no lady there." I said, "Yes, there is." I said, and I started to get out of the truck because I was going to go down and go see the lady at the bottom of the hill. So that really stuck in my head because Heather's like, "I'll drive down." There was nothing there. And I'm like, "I'm telling you, it was there." And I'd never had that happen to me before. And so I discovered the book that just came out, the Tewksbury State Hospital, the history of the Tewksbury State Hospital. I love that book. I've read it over and over again. But what I found in the book when I first got it was that there were bodies of water here, reservoirs and all kinds of things that were feeding, you know, the animals that they were raising here, and the people who had to live here needed water, of course. And I spoke to the author, and she told me, yes, there is stories of people having drowned here, because that's what I asked her. Okay, so I saw that lady, and I figured, you know, that may have something to do with it. All right, and that was the first time I experienced anything of that nature. So it really impressed me. So this library, this area here is just full of just different people. You know, so keep that in mind when you're walking around. There's people who live their lives, and some people probably walking across the campus that we can't see that are just carrying on with their daily whatever they were doing. You know, and every now and then we kind of cross paths, and when we do that, then we experience something or we hear something. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's something to take notice, and because that's what they want. They want to be acknowledged. And I think the father and son upstairs definitely want that. We have some other footage of them, which is really, really interesting. They were talking, we were doing the flashlight. We asked them a few more questions. You want to talk about that? Do you remember?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the flashlight actually was just a fluke thing. I brought that particular night of the investigation. I was kind of walking by my bureau, and it was sitting there, and I'm like, I'm going to bring this particular flashlight. It doesn't work very well with the push button ones. I don't know if it takes twice as much energy or what. I don't understand. I haven't figured that out yet, but this was just a mini mag light flashlight. And so we decided, let's give it a shot to see if we can communicate with them. So, like Bonnie said, and you've seen, we met up with the father and son, and oh my goodness, we asked so many questions. That session went on for over an hour.
which is unheard of,
We've never, ever,
ever. Had a session like that with any energy ever. That was just
interacting
that
with
was
us.
crazy. And we were asking questions about, you know, did they work in the hospital? Did one of them work in the hospital? Did someone get sick and pass away in the hospital? Were they, I believe we were able to find out the date was the 1800s.
I think so. I honestly do not recall, but I want to say 1800s.
I think it was 1800s. And then we talked about, you know, what did you do at the hospital? And we're trying to get some responses. And they did respond to nurse.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, we said, well, nurses, male nurses would not be, and then I said, what about an orderly? And the flashlight lit up. So we thought, okay, well, maybe we're getting somewhere. Okay, it's possible, you know, so we just said, okay, we'll take note of that. He could have worked in the hospital as an orderly. And then because I saw the woman out there, I thought, I'm gonna ask them something. We also picked up an EVP of a woman's voice. The first night we were here, Heather recorded a voice of a woman saying, please help me. Just, please help me, like a little voice like that. And that kind of stuck in my head. And while we were up there, I thought, I wonder if the lady downstairs has anything to do with the two energies upstairs. Weird, let me ask. So I said, are you looking for someone? And it came on. And I said, are you looking for your wife? It came on again. So then we were trying to figure out, well, was she at the cemetery? Where was she? They didn't seem to be able to respond to any further questions after that particular session, which is the reason why we want to come back, because now we want to find out. You know, we want to find out, is this, first of all, we want to substantiate a little bit more that this, these responses are, in fact, intelligent responses. So we're our own worst scrutinizers, you know, so we will come back and we'll keep figuring that out. But if we could make a connection, that would be great, you know, and what we would do from there, I don't know. But just to know, you know, just to acknowledge, I think that's the important thing. So not to be feared, not to be like every single thing that happens is an evil thing. You know, I have never come across, one time in my life I've come across something that I would call probably an evil energy. Only once. And I just got rid of it. I was like, get out, get away from me. And I never had that experience again. But all the other experiences are more of what you would consider of human nature. You know, and if there are people, and sure, there are some ornery spirits out there, of course, because there are plenty of ornery humans out there too, right? So, you know, everybody has a personality, and so do they. So trying to connect with that and trying to understand what that is and why they're here and what are they trying to tell us. They want to be acknowledged. They want us to know that they're here. So as I said, you know, that is kind of what we're looking, some of the answers that we're looking for when we come here to this library. That we're.
Bonnie, how many times did you visit? I know we started this during
4 or 5, I think.
And what I thought was interesting was you've sort of reset the way that some of the staff looks at this, because we always, at least me jokingly, but some people seriously felt that there was a ghost in the library.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're saying is more likely they're transient, and when you ask the ghost how many of them were in the building at the time, and they said like 80 or 90. So it sort of has us thinking about things a bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that is most interesting to me is the stick figures.
Yes.
Now, you know, you talk about, I mean, I don't know the science behind them, but you talk about how they pick up on energy. Now, the things that these cameras are seeing, could they be things other than ghosts? I mean, I mean, can these only be ghosts, or what else could these cameras be picking up on?
The only thing, the way I understand it, is picking up on some kind of energy that's trying to manifest. If it can successfully do so, the program picks up, you know, if it can manifest the characteristics of a human, it will map it, because that's what it does. It's LiDAR, so it maps what it sees. I don't know if it can do that with anything else. Now, if you're looking at a surface that has, if it's smooth, you know, and I caught some pretty interesting stick figures upstairs also, on smooth surfaces, like, and there should not be, it's not the technology like getting messed up when it does that, because a smooth surface wouldn't allow it to map anything.
Right, because I know you didn't show your footage tonight.
Unfortunately.
I know that you had an instance where, you know, in the paperback area, where it jumped on the ceiling and one on the floor. So that's not like an insect or anything, right? This
Nope.
This has to be
Nope.
something attuned to a ghost.
This is
Something larger.
something larger, some kind of energy. Yeah, that's all the way, you know, I can describe it. But if you think about it, when it's jumping up to the ceiling, it was jumping up to the light. That's where the lights are. Okay, so electricity, anything like that, any other type of our equipment, thank you very much, you know, they drop our batteries. How many batteries have we been through? It just sucks it right out. And there's no explanation for it.
So let's take 5 to 10 minutes of questions. We'll actually get to questions. Does anyone in the audience have a question for Becky or Bonnie? And your other partner in crime is Heather, right? She couldn't make it tonight?
She couldn't. Unfortunately, she came up with a mystery cold or something that everybody's getting now. So she was upset about that,
Does
yeah.
anyone have any questions for Becky or Bonnie regarding these investigations here at the library, or what it's like to be a paranormal investigator, or anything along those lines?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a quick question. What do the colors mean? Is it higher energy or lower energy, or?
I don't think the colors are relevant in that way. I don't know. That would be an Al question. Al's our tech guru. I invited him to come tonight, but he couldn't make it. He understands the entire workings of these techno gadgets that we have. But I believe he told me that the colors really have nothing to do with it. It's just the color that the program is mapped to do, because they all come out like that, no matter where we are. So I think it's just the colors assigned to that particular mapping mechanism within the camera.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
Be here tonight, but we actually Zoomed with Bonnie and her team last October.
Mm-hmm.
So they presented some of this material, including the stick figures, then.
Yes.
That Zoom is available on the town of Tewksbury's YouTube channel, Tewksbury TV.
Yep.
So you can search for it there. But Al did sort of like a 5 to 10 minute introduction of what the stick figures are before he showed them. And I don't recall if he talked about the colors or not, but there's definitely more information on that Zoom. Okay. Did anyone else have any other questions for Bonnie?
When you were asking questions, did it take longer to get like the answers?
Yes.
What we saw?
Yeah, we find that kind of typical. And as I said, you know, I've always wondered, when we speak, we hear ourselves very clearly. What do we sound like to an energy on the other side? Would it be like trying to talk underwater? I have no idea. But when we were doing the flashlight thing, I started being very specific and very broken in my speech, hoping that that would carry the sound a little quicker. They might respond a little quicker, and they started to. So I thought, I wonder if that's true, but I don't know. You know, this is all like experimental, really. But as a medium, I would have to say that I hear things and I see things in so many different ways, and I really don't understand why. Like sometimes I see things in my head, you know, like a movie, or images, like a picture show, like this was supposed to do, okay? And I pick up on that stuff and I start just talking about it, and then people say, oh my God, how do you know that? I said, it's not me. I'm just getting it from, I don't know, a gentleman here, blah, blah, and I start talking about that. If you're interested in that, the Haunted Emporium, Heather's store, she opened up a store in Whitensville. I do psychic mediumship readings at her store in Whitensville every Saturday. So I do this quite often. And it's not that I do it when I'm investigating, because when I come into an investigation, I'm an investigator first, always. If I'm a medium, it's Saturday. But there are ways that sometimes I get little messages or little ideas that sometimes affect the success of an investigation because I've adjusted some way of communication. And sometimes that works pretty well. So how about you, Becky?
Well, I was just going to say, everything you saw, we haven't doctored it in any way except to cut it down from the hour-long. So it's so the timing on this was exactly the same timing we saw.
Yeah, we don't edit anything like that.
To answer that question in a different direction.
Yeah.
We don't try to mess with whatever we catch. We
keep it the way it is and the way it was recorded. That's why sometimes when we play something, you might not be able to hear it quite well, because really headphones would be something that you would need to really hear it, but it's there. Okay, but we don't enhance it, we don't normalize it, we don't do anything to it. So we just take it as it comes.
So we have several different ways. One is with little recorders. You can buy them at Walmart, the digital voice recorders. That's where we pick up most of our EVPs on. That segment where you could see, from my body cam, that you could see Bonnie using the SLS and that nobody was over by the flashlight. Those are also have voice as well as the picture. The flashlight was just kind of a fluke thing that day. Like, something told me, grab it. And I have seen that one other time actually work, where you had actually 3 flashlights going. It was at a private residence many years ago. And we were able to, whoever was speaking with us, it was female, she was able to light up the flashlights we requested of her. And I know, like, I was sitting at one end, but my flashlight was in the middle, and we asked, can you light up Becky's flashlight? And she knew which one was mine and lit up my flashlight, which was absolutely unbelievable. Unfortunately, there's absolutely no footage of it because the person filming wasn't filming the floor. They were too busy. Oh my goodness. So, personal experience. But yeah, it's pretty much it's whatever equipment we have and ourselves. A lot of those EVPs you could hear, Bonnie, did you hear that? Was that you? And no, I didn't hear anything. And so, yeah.
So we've hit 8 o'clock. There is a sporting event tonight I want to be mindful of. So let's give Bonnie and Becky a big round of applause.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a feeling this isn't the last we'll see of them. I know Bonnie is working on a potential documentary.
Yes.
Some of the things she finds here. And so perhaps we'll see her next October. And perhaps, if you don't mind, maybe hang out for an additional 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
So if anyone wants to ask a question of Bonnie or Becky one-on-one, they'll hang out for the next 15 minutes or so, okay? The rest of us can get home to watch the Patriots, all right? So thank you all so much, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out.